Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 41 of My 15 Minutes. It's the show I put on once a day from my home office. This is episode 41. It's pretty, yeah, 41. Um, and I've been doing this since January 1st of this year, and we continue on to try and do it um, 366 days in a row. That's the goal. Um, anyway, not much of a picture. Today's picture of the day, if you want to take a quick glance. I don't know where it is, but there's city lights down here, and this is a gorgeous night sky. Anyway, just a nice shot. So tonight, I'm actually going to tell a bit of a story, um, part of my life story, for anybody that might be interested, or even if you're not. We're going to get it anyway. Um, I don't know if I've mentioned it here or not, but one of the running jokes over the last 40 years in my family has been the fact that I'm predicted to at least live to 83, if not actually die at 83. And I'm going to explain that in just a second here. So, um, many years before I met my current wife and only wife and mother of my children, I used to date a girl named Catherine Rosenbaum. She was actually from Cheltenham, and we didn't just we. She was part of the family. I really loved Katie at the time, and her actual married name was Strunk, Katie Strunk. God knows if anybody ever knows where she is. There's some of us out there that would like to know. My sister Susan would like to know where Katie is. Mark Reynolds would like to know where Katie is. there's others out there. Hopefully she's still alive. Anyway, at the time I was 29 or 30 or so. I can't remember exactly. And but Kate was a very unusual woman. Um, she was an astrologer. Now, that means that she reads signs, astrological signs, and predicts and reads people's astrological chart based on when they were born. I don't. Anyway, at the time, she was considered really, really one of the best astrologers in Philadelphia. She was actually the protege of a gentleman by the name of Dr. Jacob Schwartz, um, the only professor of astrology, actually a PhD in astrological phenomenon, I guess, or not astronomical, but astrological. But yeah, anyway, he taught at Temple, and she was his protege, you her mentor, and she traveled in pretty high end circles, in psychic circles in those days. Knew a lot of people in the world of astrology and palm reading and all that stuff. It's all uh, interesting mumbo jumbo, I guess, as far as I'm concerned. But nonetheless, it was enjoyable. She did my reading. She got my birth date and all the stuff that you need, and she did my chart and told me things that you know I had never told her about myself, and she had them nailed pretty good. Um, I mean, nothing life changing or anything like that. But one time, as a gift to me, Kate had decided to take me to see a psychic. Now, this takes place in North Philadelphia. There is an enclave of homes off Broad Street. I can't, somewhere maybe near Broad and Cheltenham. I'm not sure where it is, but at the time, I had never seen anything quite like it. There's this enclave of homes in North Philadelphia, that big homes, maybe 100 years, 150 years old, I don't know, but surrounded on all sides by a huge fence of brick and iron. And obviously, when this place was built, it was, you know, they wanted to keep themselves, walled off. So that's what it is. Anyway, Kate, this woman that Kate took me to see was a psychic, claimed to be a psychic, and she lived in one of these houses, these big houses. And when we went there, we drove down, and Kate drove, and when we got there, we went through these gates that keep the houses from the rest of North Philly. And this is 30, 40 years ago. So, things probably changed quite a bit since then. I'm sure it's still there, though. These houses aren't getting torn down anytime soon. But anyway, we drove up to this big house, and this woman, I guess it was hers, so nobody had said. I mean, she lived there, but I didn't ask if it was specifically hers. But she was by herself, and the house was dark and spooky. And we went in, and we had a psychic reading. One of the first things she told me, and this is what brings all this through, is that my spirit guide is my great grandfather, great grandfather, not great grand, my grandfather's father. Now he was a rabbi in Waco, Texas. I guess one of the very first Jews across the Mississippi River. but anyway, he died either just before I was born or just after. I can't remember which. I never actually met the man. But this psychic told me that he was my spirit guide, is my spirit guide. I guess he is still my spirit guide because I'm not dead. So as long as you're alive, you have a spirit guide, according to her, and he was mine. And she told me that when I was in Vietnam, and I did not prompt this, and I don't think Kate did. She told me that my spirit guide was the person or thing or whatever that actually nudged me just a little bit to keep the bullet that was coming toward me from killing me or completely paralyzing me for the rest of my life. So he pushed me just a little bit, and I have damage, but I'm not dead. So, and again, who knows all this stuff. But at the end of this, she said to me, the psychic did, that she doesn't normally tell people this, but my spirit guide was being very insistent that I should have this information. And the information that she was imparting to me was that I was going to see 83 years. And I looked at her kind of strangely. I said, "What?" She said, "Well, he wants me to tell you that you will see 86 years or 83 years. Have you, have you been thinking about death a lot?" And I didn't at the time. I hadn't thought about it much. And I don't know why it was important for him to pass that through to me either at the time. And she didn't either. She said she never, ever tells anybody, even when she knows if somebody's going to be dead in a year or whatever. She didn't say it. She doesn't say it. She said she didn't say it. Now, I can't go back and talk to this woman because she was old then, and that's 40 years. So she'd have to be the oldest person on earth to still be alive today. But nonetheless, so anyway, so I had never been to a psychic. I didn't know what to think, and this is what was going on. So at the end of it, we left and we went back. And because Kate was not just somebody I was seeing, she was part of the family. The next time we had a family gathering of dinner or something, and she was there, the subject of the psychic came up, and we passed that on, what she had told me, that I would see 83 years. And again, it doesn't mean that I was going to die at 83. It just means that I would see 83. I might not make it through 83. I don't, nobody, just so you would see 83 years. So now I'm 70. It's 13 years. But my father, who would be, he would turn 100 this year. My dad would turn 100. So 17 years ago, right? Yeah, it must be. No, it can't be right, can it? Maybe 17 years ago, he passed away at age 83. Well, 16 years ago, probably because of the time frame. But anyway, he was 83 years old. It was about, a 4 year progression. It did get, his death did get enhanced and pushed forward by an accident he had and an operation that left him, you know, basically without any mind at all. Um, Basically put him to sleep in his head, really, what they did. But anyway, he died at 83 years old. Whether he would have because of the accident or not, nobody knows for sure. He was on a downhill. Things were not easy. He was on he had many strokes and Parkinson's, and things were settling in. You get to be 79, 80 years old. That's what happens. Hell, I'm 70 years old and I feel some of it now. But anyway, the key to the whole thing was that during the course of these last 40 years since this psychic and Kate and I came together, the 83-year-old thing up to the 17-year-ago part was kind of a joke, a running joke in the family. Oh yeah, don't worry about John. He'll be 83. He's going to die until he's 83, blah, 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 blah. And it was discussed a lot. The story was told a lot and everybody knew the story. But then Dad died and he was 83. And then, strangely enough, his brother, 4 years difference in age, and 4 years difference in death. He passed away 4 years at 83. So now here's my dad and his brother, both gone at 83. And their grandfather had passed on to me that I would see 83. So I'm thinking, 13 years. that's about what I've got left now. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. I don't know if I'll see 83 or not. If I don't, we'll know the psychic was wrong. If I do, but that doesn't mean I'm going to die at 83. It just means that I'll see 83. I could make it through to 84, 85, or up. Unlikely. I have no illusions. I am not a healthy person. I mean, I am relatively healthy, but I've got diabetes. I'm a sugar addict. And, I'm just not the healthiest person you'd ever want to meet, that's for sure. But anyway, this is just one of those stories you want to pass along. I'm passing it for my kids primarily, because maybe one day maybe they'll have forgotten. I think they know the story. I'm pretty sure they do. They may not know the complete ins and outs of it. And Kate was there's other stories to go with Kate too, besides that one. Maybe one day I'll relate the story of how my brother Donald, your Uncle Donald, if you're listening, Sam or Anne-Marie, got flim-flammed into taking a long drive to Florida and back. First with me and a moving van and a bunch of smart furniture and two dogs. And then getting to Florida and then having Kate change her mind. And I was on the set to fly back. This was supposed to be a one-way trip, and Kate and I were but anyway, this story is gonna take me way into my 15 minutes, and I don't want to do that. But I'll try and relate it again. But Donald, my brother Donald, he probably won't forget that story until he's in his grave, and maybe not then. He was not a happy camper when it was all said and done. But so, hey, that's the story of why I'm going to live or possibly live to see 83 years. The only way to know is to make it through one day at a time until I get there. So that's what I've been working on for the last, 70 years, one day at a time. Never thought I'd make it, but here we are. Anyway, time to say goodnight. 15 minutes is up. Take care. You'll see me tomorrow night. Take care of each other.